Hi, it's the Irish Gypsy back to do your December 2015 readings. I will again be using the Gilded Tarot deck, pulling 8 cards for the month, 2 cards for each week, with an additional card as your overall theme or general feeling of the month. These are general readings, so they may not apply or resonate the same with everyone. I suggest you also check your rising and your moon sign as well. If you're interested in an extension of this reading or a more personal one-on-one reading, you can click on the About button on my channel's homepage, and that will give you a little more detail about myself, the services I offer, and my contact information. And for those of you who have been watching and listening and subscribing, my thanks and appreciation go out to you, and I have really delighted in meeting those of you who have introduced yourselves so far, and those of you I have done readings for. I will also be running specials for the holidays from December 1st to the 31st. I will be offering 30-minute readings for $25 and 60-minute readings for $50. And I also offer a 3-question spread where you email me your 3 questions, and I will send you the written version of that reading along with an accompanying picture of the card layout for your question. So without further ado, let's get on with the reading. This is for Pisces for the month of December 2015. Oh, and I forgot to say that I wish all of you who watch, and those of you who don't, a happy holiday season. We're just about right in the middle of it now. So Pisces, what does the month of December 2015 hold for you? For my fish. You know, when I was shuffling for you earlier, Pisces, I just had kind of the sensation of you being all over the place this month. I had an image of a fish just kind of flicking here and there and everywhere. And the cards were rather slippery in my hands. So let's see what story they put together for you, Pisces, for December 2015. Okay. Clean the hair out of the way. For the first week, we have the Page of Wands, followed by the Three of Cups. For the second week, we have the Hermit card, followed by the Seven of Pentacles. For the third week, we have the Ace of Cups, followed by the Chariot card. Speedy, speedy. For the fourth week, we have the Wheel of Fortune, paired with the Four of Swords. And as your overall theme or general feeling of the month, the card from the bottom of the deck is the Page of Cups. Well, Pisces. Looks like there's a lot going on for you this month, so let's get started. Now, as I've said before, and I will say again, there's no definitive timeline to the beginning and ending of these cards. This reading represents the general month of December, the situation or general feelings that you're going to be going through. But it could just as easily be something you're experiencing at the end of November and going into January as well. So we begin with the Page of Wands, followed by the Three of Cups. This is a great combination. Pages usually represent young people or actual children in your life. They can represent people with a younger sort of mentality, or just someone who approaches the world and who sees the world through the eyes of someone who's younger than they actually are. They don't have to actually represent young people or children in your life. This could be how you're going into the month of December as well. Pages also are the messengers of the zodiac. They often represent messages that you are or will be receiving in the month of December. Now, it's paired with and the other thing I wanted to add too is that wands, the element being fire and air. The element of the suit of wands represents, even my speech is kind of all over the place. It's kind of how I feel you are this month, Pisces, just kind of all over the place. Lots going on. The wand suit represents also fire energy. It implies movement, action, power, creativity, things like that. And paired with the Three of Cups, the element being water. It's a card of cups is a suit of emotion, relationships, love, the connections we have between people. I've sometimes heard this card referred to as the party card, although the meaning can be much deeper than that. It is a celebratory card, however. It shows three women who are, dancing in the air, waving their banners around. They're having a beautiful, glorious time, and underneath them, three cups are spilling out one into the other. This is a card that represents just being with, really enjoying the time that you're spending around people. It means, it represents celebration. It represents taking joy in the company of others, particularly people you love and care about. It's a card of going out and having a good time and having celebrations. And perhaps with the Page of Wands, you're receiving a lot of invitations this month. We are in December and in the middle of the holidays, and perhaps you're getting a lot of invitations to holiday get-togethers, parties, celebrations, things of that sort. It looks like a very happy way to begin the month. Looks like lots of good fun things going on. You could be getting a message about something that causes you to decide to throw a party of some sort. But it looks like you're going to be spending time around people whose company you really enjoy. It could be that you're going to be spending time with family as well, and that this Page of Wands represents actual young people, people in your family that you're reconnecting with for the holidays. So in the second week, we have the Hermit card, which is a major arcana card, paired with the Seven of Pentacles. Now, it's kind of interesting that you got this combination in the second week because it almost seems in opposition to the cards of the first week, which is pretty much about receiving invitations, getting messages, being passionate, having a good time, and celebrating with people. The Hermit is a card more of, it can imply a bit of a withdrawal. It implies being in a place um, where you're going within and you're trying to find your way through something. You're trying to find some insight, some clarification on something, or a path through perhaps a situation you're going through. As you can see, the Hermit card shows a man, an older man, who's walking at night. He has this lantern that he's guiding himself by. He's looking over the precipice, making sure perhaps he doesn't take a wrong step, and looking to make sure he finds the right path um, to wherever it is he's going on his journeys. And that light would represent clarification, insight, wisdom, the intuition that comes from knowing which steps to take and whether you're on the right path or not. It implies a time of retrospection and reflection and of going within. So perhaps in the second week, perhaps you get a little partied out in the last part of November, the first part of December. Or perhaps you go to a celebration where something happens that causes you to maybe reflect a little bit more on what it is you're actually doing in life. And the Hermit paired with the Seven of Pentacles. Pentacles, the element being earth, and it represents typically tangible things around us in our environment that we can see and feel and utilize. Pentacles usually represent money, finances, assets, wealth, property, things of that nature. And this this card is the card of reaping what you've sown, and a card of assessing whether or not the harvest has been worth what you've put into it. Shows a woman who's standing underneath a tree which is ready to be harvested. There's a bunch of nice fat pentacles in the tree. She has a ladder up there just waiting to climb up. She's holding a basket, but the basket's empty. She hasn't begun to collect yet. What she's doing is looking at uh, what she has sown, and asking herself, this card actually asks the question, has it been worth it? Has the end justified the means? Has what I put into my way of life been worth it in the end? Am I happy? Is this a good payoff for me? Should I continue on this path? It's a path of assessing perhaps what your motives are, and if everything that you've been working for, if it's been worth the work that you've put into it so far. And it looks like you're going to be going into or finding yourself, perhaps, albeit briefly, in a period in sometime in December, perhaps sometime in the first 2 weeks, um, where you're feeling a little bit introspective, perhaps sometimes seeing the celebrations going on around us, and perhaps sometimes being at parties, just like you see in the Hollywood movies sometimes. a person can suddenly find themselves feeling on the outside of that and actually looking around and wondering if is this really my life? Is this what's really making me happy? Perhaps this is just something that you do towards the end of the year, that you reflect on everything that's gone on in the year and asking yourself what the end result has been. Has it been worth everything that you've put into it? Has the end justified the means? And have seeds that you've sown really come to fruition in a way that you were hoping for? Now, in the third week, we have the Ace of Cups, a beautiful cup, a beautiful card, and a beautiful cup. And it's paired with another major arcana card, Chariot. Now, this tells me right off, Scorpio, that, okay, so cups, the element being water, cups is a suit that represents love, emotions, relationships, how we relate to each other. Aces representing, they can represent gifts, they represent new beginnings or the opportunity for new beginnings. The Ace of Cups is a beautiful card. It implies very strongly that somebody that you're going to be presented with a new opportunity in love or in relationships somehow. Um, for those of you that are already in an established relationship with someone, this could be beginning the month in the celebratory craziness that the holidays can sometimes bring, going through a rather introspective period on is this really what I want or not, but coming to the realization that you are in a happy place in your life, or something happens that causes you and your partner to have some kind of new beginning or new appreciation for each other. For those of you that are single, though, however, paired with the Chariot card, it represents that this new beginning is coming. It's coming very fast. The Chariot is a major arcana card that implies uh, movement and fast movement. There's an air of spontaneity about this, of something quick coming, something that's coming from the outside in, as major arcana cards are. I like to call them the fingers of the divine because they are external forces that come in and affect us. Um, and the Chariot is a card of rapid movement, of surging ahead, of forging ahead. And paired with the Ace of Cups, it looks like you're going to be getting some kind of new beginning in love, in emotion, in relationships. It looks like somebody, I think for some of you, somebody's going to be coming into your life, perhaps at one of these parties that you go to, or a rather eventful party that you go to. You meet someone that you really connect with. Aces represent new beginnings, and they represent the seeds. And it looks like this is going to be something that's happening very fast, that's coming in very fast, that's going to be happening very fast. I kind of get the impression that for some of you, this is someone that you're actually going to meet at a party that you go to, some kind of holiday celebration, holiday event. Um, and perhaps meeting this person is going to put you in maybe a bit more of a reflective state. Maybe you're looking back at past relationships. This also, Scorpio, could be someone that you've been involved with before that's coming back into your past. Perhaps you meet up with someone or run into someone that you used to be connected with at one of these parties, and you guys are presented. It puts you in a place where you're reflecting back over the relationship and deciding whether or not to reconnect with this person and to have a new beginning with this person. Although I actually think that for most of you, it's going to be somebody new coming in, something that's going to be presented to you, and that it's going to be happening very quickly. That you're going to be meeting somebody at a party, someone that you connect with really well. That it's going to be a very fast-moving sort of situation. It looks very exciting, and that it has the potential to grow into something truly beautiful. Now, in the last week of the month, we have the Wheel of Fortune, another major arcana card. You have, let's see, you have three, and the Four of Swords. Now, the Wheel of Fortune, I'm very fond of saying that the wheel is always turning, because it always is. It's always, as I've heard another reader say, life is always happening. It is. The wheel is always turning. Things are always in motion. And they're always moving in the way that they're designed to move, even when things happen that you don't see coming or seem unexpected, or at the time seem like not the most pleasant thing in the world. The Wheel of Fortune is always moving. It can be moving towards what you may see initially as good or what you may see initially as bad, but it's always turning. There's a piece of advice in the Wheel of Fortune that if you are grounded in yourself, if you're, which sometimes I know Pisces has a difficult time doing, you're a water sign, and of all the water signs you tend to be, I think, the most mercurial and the most fluid, just like the fish that your symbol is. You are here and there and kind of swimming upstream, downstream, jumping here and there, that you're just kind of, you're a very mercurial sort of sign. And I think sometimes staying grounded to who you are as an individual can be a little bit challenging for you. But the secondary piece of advice of the Wheel of Fortune, that when you're grounded in yourself and your own authenticity, knowing and living your life the way that you know is true to who you are, it doesn't really matter in the long run how the wheel turns, because it's always going to be turning up or down. It's always in motion. Um, and even if something looks like it's really good or something looks like it's really bad, when you're truly grounded to yourself, those things have less of an impact on you than if you're just kind of all over the place emotionally and in your life choices. And I think that this card is giving a little piece of advice to you, Pisces, to try and stay grounded this month in spite of what looks to be a very exciting and perhaps love-filled holiday season. The Wheel of Fortune is paired with the Four of Swords. Swords, the element being fire and air, which also implies, or air, sorry. Swords is a suit that talks about thoughts, logic, mental projections, ways of thinking, intellect, that sort of thing. This is a card actually of rest. It shows a man who's laying on his bed. There are three swords above him pointing down at him, although not touching him. He's not engaged with them. And his own sword is lying very close by his hand, ready for him to grab if he should need it. He's girded for battle. Either he's done with the battle or he's taking a break from it. But for the time being, he's not engaged. For the time being, he's taking a time out, a rest. Um, he's he's taking a time out. This is a card that implies that perhaps it looks like there's a lot of movement going on for you this month, a lot of maybe celebrations, maybe new people coming in, the possibility of a new love. And you're going through also a time in the month where you're contemplating maybe quite deeply whether or not the path that you're on is the right one for you. This card is suggesting that at the end of the month, you may find yourself a bit worn out, a bit overthinking a little too much. And this card is advising you, perhaps, if you can, to take a step back, to maybe not get caught up in circular thinking with your mental projections. And also, this card implies that um, sorry about that, somebody just came in and came out. This card also implies, or it suggests, it has an undercurrent of the religious about it as well, or whatever it is that you connect with spiritually in terms of meditation. It suggests taking a time out and perhaps going to whatever it is your spiritual basis is to nurture yourself in ways that are not quite so tangible. Whether that's meditation or seeking advice or counsel from somebody who's coming from the same spiritual grounding that you are. It looks like, now the Wheel of Fortune in this last week being in the upright position, it looks like something very fortunate is going to be happening, something unexpected. And following right on the heels of the Chariot and the Ace of Cups, it looks like someone is actually coming into your life. You're having a new beginning with someone, something, or the new idea of the beginning of something. It doesn't necessarily have to be love related, although cups do relate to that. It could be a new emotional level in your life, but that it's happening very suddenly, that it's a positive, good luck, Wheel of Fortune sort of thing. But there's an air of rapidity about it, that things are going to be moving very fast. So fast, perhaps, that at the end of the month you need to remember to take a time out and give yourself a break and not overthink this too much. Now, the card you have as the overall theme or general feeling of the month is the Page of Cups. Um, Again, another page in this, more messages. And this is also a Cups card. So that puts you to 3 Cups cards. So It looks like love is perhaps going to be a theme for you this month, Pisces. It looks like the Page of Cups is a young, whimsical individual, very romantic, a dreamer, which is kind of like you are, Pisces. And it could be that this is, and actually I'm kind of getting a feeling, I often read pages as messages, but for this reading, for this Page of Cups, Pisces, I'm actually reading this as your overall energy for the month of December, which fits perfectly because it's right in line with the personality of the majority of you Pisces, although not all Pisces are the same, and this reading's not going to mean the same thing to every Pisces. But this represents, I think, your general energy for the month of December. It looks like you're going to almost be in a tizzy with this person coming into your life, with this new emotional beginning, this new love. Um, and it looks like you're going to be in kind of a reflective, perhaps dreamy state, enjoying yourself at parties, meeting people at parties. Don't forget to give yourself a bit of a rest at the end of the month, Pisces. It looks like you're just kind of flitting all over from place to place, um, which is how you tend to be. I think that this is one of those months, Pisces, where things are just happening and you just need to get in the current and just kind of go with it and let things play out and see where they go. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Take your time for your little reflective period, but don't overthink it too much because you might find yourself kind of feeling a bit worn out at the end of the month. Stay true to who you are. Try to stay grounded in the midst of this too. It looks like things are going to be happening very fast for you, very fast and very furious. So what an exciting, delightful kind of reading, Pisces. I'm almost getting a feeling of almost a giddiness, of happy, whimsical, um, kind of giddiness almost. So it looks like this is going to throw you for a loop, so to speak, but in a positive way. So Pisces, I hope you enjoyed this reading or at least got something out of it. I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Be safe. Take care of yourself. Try to take a little bit of a break towards the end of the year, even considering that we're going into New Year's. And I will be happy to see how this continues to play out for you in the month of January. And I will see you in the next year, 2016. And as always, I wish you joy, blessings, and a happy life.